All right, hopefully this works. You guys, once everybody hops in, I'm gonna kind of let this just go for a minute, but once everybody starts hopping in, you guys can let me know whether or not this is working. It's showing that it's working, but I just want to make sure. I need to adjust this too. There we go. All right, so it is working. Awesome. Hello, hello. I'm doing good. How you guys doing? It'll look weird just because the camera's over here and I'll be looking at the screen right here. There we go. What's my real name? Steven. Steve or Steven, but that's my real name. Oh, and Obraxis is on. That is amazing. Shout out to Obraxis. He's actually one of the Subnautica Below Zero devs. And they're doing a phenomenal job. So shout out to those guys. This was just a live Q&A, so not streaming. I do want to do a playthrough tonight, though. So hopefully I get a live stream going of the new update, because they added a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter to me in terms of either Steve or Steven. Either or. Somebody was asking about the name also the other day. And it was just something that I threw out there. The One-Up Nerd Core, I'm not attached to it. At this point, it's just something that stuck, but it's not anything that I thought a long time about. So originally I was doing One-Up with the fitness stuff that I do, because I've been a personal trainer now for close to 14 years. And I had this notion of like rebranding that, and it had One-Up with it because I wanted to integrate like the video game tech stuff that I'm really into. And so just One-Up Nerd Core, which for those that don't know, Nerd Core, to me, it just sounded cool, but Nerd Core is a style of hip hop or rap where they basically rap about tech and video games and stuff like that. Is everybody asking me what I'm going to do after Below Zero or Obraxis? I know Obraxis said that the dev team is going to move on to a different project, that there's still a lot that they can do with the Subnautica world, but they're going to take a break and go try something else for a while. Can we have background music in the gameplay of Subnautica or this video? Petition for Minecraft playthrough. I'm horrible at Minecraft, by the way. I get asked that quite a bit, actually. I want to go check that out, actually. Let's see if I can find that. I've actually wanted to hop into natural selection, by the way. I know some of the creatures remind me of some of the creatures in Subnautica. Let's see here. Maybe this is the one. It says Art Lead, new title. The lead artistic development of a new top-down turn-based strategy game rooted in tabletop gaming. The game is rock solid, but we're still developing the look. The look is sci-fi / fantasy with many diverse influences. That is really, really cool. Tabletop gaming aficionado is what they're looking for. Systems programmer. And then they're looking for a DevOps engineer. I don't think that's the one that they're talking about, but That would be cool. My first thought was, oh man, I'm going to forget the name. I'm horrible at remembering names, but alien game where it's top-down, turn-based. I haven't played Apex Legends. Those competitive games just aren't my thing. Not that I don't find them enjoyable. Where I get into trouble is I get frustrated. One, because you got kids that are 8, 9, 10, and 11 that are just schooling you on it. But two, if it's buggy, I just get frustrated. So it's just better if I don't touch them at all. XCOM. Thank you, Mike B. Yes, XCOM is what I was thinking of. The description, I don't know why, just maybe like that. I don't know if you guys agree, but it kind of sounds like that. Yep, heard of Titanfall 2. Played Titanfall. Didn't play the second one, although it was on sale on Steam for a really good price last week. Good RPG games. The Witcher 3. I still hop into The Witcher 3. Definitely one of my favorites. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've done videos on that on this channel. Multiplayer right now is lacking. There's just not a lot of new content, so it just kind of stalled out for me. But the main story, I sunk, man, like 120 hours just into the main story, which was really, really fun. Lady first, how did I become a YouTuber? Just random. My first video was for fun. It was I was playing The Witcher 3, and I just noticed the way he runs around looked like parkour, which I'm certified in Adapt Generations Level 1 parkour. And MoveNat Level 1, which is natural movement. And I've trained with Rafe Kelly out in Seattle, which is one of the best natural movement guys in the world, in my opinion. And so it just reminded me of that. So I just made a goof video, and that literally is the first video on the channel. And I spliced in the office parkour scene. And then from there, what I noticed, and really what the highest viewed videos on the channel are, right now I'm doing playthroughs and things like that. But when a game launches, when Subnautica did, and when Below Zero does, those really quick tutorial videos, like I don't need 20 minutes to hear the one snippet. And I was noticing that with IGP, Jack's Septic Eye. I would want something that they had in the video, like how to find something, and it would be like a 30-40 minute video. So that's really kind of where I wanted to go, the direction I wanted to go with the channel. Let's see. These are coming quick because I gotta see. Firewatch was on my list to play, by the way. I like the notion of them. Admiral Truck, good morning. Or Tuck. I keep wanting to say Truck every time I see your name. Admiral Tuck. But the Among Trees game reminds me of both the visual style. I haven't played Firewatch. I've just seen the gameplay, but it reminds me of something similar. Hello, one dude's from Argentina. That's awesome. Yeah, the second I find more things out on Subnautica, I'll definitely have videos up. How many hours do I have in Below Zero? It's probably less than you guys think. This pops up. It's like 200 something, 260 something maybe. Let's see if Steam pops up here in a second. Favorite voice actor? Yeah, definitely the original. Something about her voice sounded really, really cool. 260 hours, exactly. Can I choose music? Yeah. In terms of music, if I do that over this, I think it copyrights it. Might I don't know if they kick you off on this or not. Oh, it says, can we get a Subnautica Mythbuster series where we ask myth and you prove if they are possible or not? In terms of gameplay or like the lore, like I said, I have a hard time remembering names and things like that. So it definitely depends on what it was. Working, Admiral Tuck, I can't be here long. Working on a couple trigger jobs today. What is a trigger job? Is that like code for video game stuff? Hi from Angel in the UK. Hey. Gunsmith. That's what I was, yeah. Are you a gunsmith? Like that's your job? What other platforms would you like to see Subnautica Below Zero on? From Obraxis, everybody's been asking with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X coming out, is this going to be on that? And I'd like to see the jump to next gen. I know and Obraxis has addressed this. One of the bigger issues, if we're going to update the engine and you're going to get RTX and all these other things, that's just a lot of back end work for these guys. So I know that's something that they're considering, especially at this point. I think they're wanting to, kind of move into new games. But I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but I would love to see this on the Series X and PlayStation 5, taking advantage of the update in the hardware. And Admiral Tuck is a gunsmith. That is awesome. I would love to see it if it supported ray tracing. I have the 2080 Ti in my PC right now. The reflection that they have on the surfaces already, though, is really, really good. Obraxis, no ray tracing, sorry, but next gen can't comment on yet. I'm going to take that as leaning towards yes, not a definitive yes, but that would be really, really cool to see. Just because then, if you're, the more platforms you're on, the more people are going to experience your game. So that'd just be really, really cool to see. What I think is better, Subnautica or Subnautica Below Zero? To me, they're different. It's one of the things I talked about on the channel. I did a video on. You're looking at the difference between like an open game where the story kind of unravels as you play through, in a sense that you're discovering things. It's not leading you necessarily in any one direction. And then you have this new one, which is more of a linear story. So to me, it's just they're too different to nail it down. And because they're not similar, it's kind of hard to judge them as that. If I'm looking at the open worldness, which I loved out of the first game, then I'm going to go with the first game. All the small details that they're putting into this new game, though, just the layering, because the world isn't as big. I mean, all the different tunnels that they have, the amount of detail in the world in general, then I'm going to go with Below Zero on that. My day's been good, busy, but good. Yeah. That was from Kevin Chow. Thanks, Birthday Shark. Yeah. That's a cool name, too. I didn't actually see the size of the Salad Days update. And I think part of that is just because I'm in the experimental build. So by the time it hit, I think the last update it did was like 1.5 megabytes for me. And then I'll actually ask the question back to everybody. I do like the look of the PlayStation 5, by the way. I know a lot of people were dogging it. You had obviously a bunch of memes. They're like, it looks like an old router. I actually really like the look of it. They took a chance. The Xbox still looks cool, but we're getting to this point where they really look like PCs, right? With this, but I actually really like the look. Thanks, Kevin Chow. I appreciate it. Any ideas for the price of below zero on console? I think it'll be very similar to what we saw with Subnautica. I mean, 25 to 30 bucks. It's not going to be, I mean, 60 bucks for a game. That's a steep ask for a lot of games, in my opinion. Now you look like Cyberpunk 2077. You look at something like that, and I mean, what, they have 150, 200 people working on it. Yeah, they need to recoup their money with this sheer size of the game. But Unknown Worlds is a smaller dev team, and they make phenomenal games. But I do like the fact that they're asking that 25, 30 bucks with this, maybe 40, right, at most, but they're not asking that $60 price tag with this. Shipbreaker, yeah. It's difficult. My initial impression of Shipbreakers is just, it was crazy difficult. Like learning the keys and all that other stuff. Like you're going to really have to invest some time with that, because my character was all over the place, because you're talking about not having any gravity, right? So it was difficult. I actually ended up reshooting the video, I think twice, because at a certain point I was just like, I had no idea what I was doing. In terms of the mic, I mean, I definitely have it set to the front focal point, so it's trying not to pick up things in the back. Look up the RTX voice if you do have a microphone. I don't have it turned on right now, but if you're playing games and stuff like that, it's really, really good. If you got below zero for $8 to $9, you probably got it on a sale. Okay, yeah, never mind. You were confused. Yeah, sorry, 25 US dollars or 30 US dollars. But I'm going to ask the question back to everybody in terms of looking at below zero versus Subnautica. And I don't think you can fully judge below zero because it's not done. That's another thing. But what does everybody think so far? Trusser R4. Hey, what's up, man? In terms of launch, I was saying September. I mean, maybe September, October, but I do know that they have a lot to work on the story. Every time I hear, not the devs themselves, but just people that are devs talking or they comment on a video, they're like, probably late this year. I think it's good on their part to be a little vague. Look at Cyberpunk. It was scheduled what? It was like February, then it jumped to April, then it jumped to September, and now it's like November. They keep pushing this back. Every time they do, people get a little bit disappointed with it. So yeah, that's the other thing. When you buy a game and you get it and it's like a 60 gig DL patch, right? When you buy it, that's another thing that sucks. The story is still being worked on with this. So that's another thing. Right now we just have chunks. So it's hard to judge it based off of the chunks. You know, Braxis, yeah, not setting dates because we always miss them. And that's the other thing. And that's got to be stressful as a dev, right? There's an expectation from the fans, and you've said, hey, we're going to release it at this point. And then that point comes, and you're like, oh man, sorry, we got to bump it back. And then everybody's upset with you when your intent is just to make a better game, right? So I think going vague with this right now is definitely the right call, because if they set a date, they're potentially going to have to change that, and people are going to be mad at them. So far, and going back to my thoughts on below zero so far, the the new story is a work in progress. So like I said, I can't fully judge it on that yet. That complete shift in gears. Tom leaves, and then you have Jill come on board, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to completely redo the story." Just to be a part of it's honestly super fascinating for me, because you literally see like pre and post, and I like the direction that they're going, but I can't, like I said, fully judge it until it's done. It's hard. You're looking at somebody that's, and I always think of like clay or something like that. They're sculpting something, and you're trying to judge it. It's half done. You don't know what it's going to look like yet. And yeah, somebody said they can't play Below Zero because they don't have a PC. Man, I have a lot of people that are waiting for this on console. A lot of people ask about when it's going to be on console. Noob Demiza. I wrote the entire Cyberpunk 2077 trailer script. Is that true? If so, that's awesome, man. I think you even put a little snippet there. Lady First, Below Zero's hands down my fave. That's awesome. Current gen console work is happening. That's again from Obraxis, and I've seen that on the weekends. They have, I don't know if it's a new software engineer or whatever the title would be that's working on it, but I see him doing work on the weekends. They're pushing to have the simultaneous release. When it launches with PC, it's going to launch on console. Now, going back to my thoughts on it going towards next gen, which would be awesome. These consoles are launching late next fall. Maybe we get a tie-in and everything's kind of launching together. We'll see. Ice Dragon is not Obraxis said again. I think he gets asked that a ton, but I think all of us just secretly in the back of our head are holding on to hope that that's just a fib and it's actually going to be in game. Favorite thing in Below Zero, and I've said this multiple times, the intricacy of the work that they've done with it. So if, we look at the lily pad biome. If you actually start just moving around, there were areas in Subnautica that were dense with foliage and things like that. This is just different. One, I think part of that has to do with the fact that the map is smaller, but with that, it's really allowed for them to focus on that polish, and it just looks really, really good. And so that would definitely be my favorite thing. I would like to see the ice dragon in game, but I also think part of a drawback is just based off of the look and the kind of artwork that they had with this. That's a big creature. Where do you put it when the map's smaller? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have mentioned too, it's like when you went outside the map or the crater in the first game, you would actually have the ghost leviathans come up, and that was the thing to stop you. And it's like maybe we see the ice dragon with that. So we'll see. Will Below Zero require Xbox Live Gold? I highly doubt that, just because there's no multiplayer, so it shouldn't with that. Do you think we'll get anything other than the prawn suit to mine with? They had the portable miner in there. I'm wondering, because in certain areas, especially in like we look in the if you go into Arctic Spire biome, there's an area where they have a mining site and there's huge chunks of diamond. Are we just going to bring the prawn suit up there, or are we going to have something that can actually mine that? That I don't know. No tech support in live Q&A chat on the weekend. Sorry, somebody was asking that the game was pixelated. Could they help? Could Obraxis help? Yeah, I can see your chat right there. It's hard. Everybody's going really quick, so I'm trying to like backtrack if I can. Have you thought about playing Don't Starve? I don't know what that is, actually. I'll have to look into it. Do you think they'll bring the grapple arm back? I know you have the jump modification, the jump jets. I think they will, because my first thought is getting down into the deep lily pad biome. Looks like you need the prawn suit to go down there. How are you going to get back out, right? Yeah, the jump pack like Marg suit does when she, that first interaction you have is really, really cool, where she jumps up, floats away, and then drops down. Yeah, question, why did they take out the stasis rifle? That I'm not sure. Maybe it gets replaced with something else. I've actually just spawned it in with console commands. But I think right now, I haven't done it in a while. The last time I did it, it was, they were already starting to pull parts of it out. So it didn't even look like the stasis rifle. It was like the general shape, and that was it. So Don't Starve is another survival game. You can play with friends or independently. Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out. Have they added anything to Below Zero that was meant to be in the original game? That is a good question. I remember, so I went back and played, you could go back through the old experimental builds. I think there's only like 3 with Subnautica. And so I was, yep, there it was. I was about to say it. Now, Brax has already said it. Twisty bridges were meant to be in Subnautica. And so there's a section you can go to that in the early build, it actually had it. It was just the start of it. It wasn't crazy detailed, but it was there. And so then I went back and played some. I was like, man, this looks like this. And then I went to the original, and it's like you couldn't find it. So can we have a Discord server? Like starting my own? I'm still brand new to Discord. I need to spend more time with it. And I've talked about this before. So in terms of my time, I hop on here when I can, but I still, like I mentioned, I'm a personal trainer, freelance. I own my own studio. So I don't train out of a gym. I own the studio that I train out of. And then I have a bunch of clients that have needs that they want met from me. So they're texting me and things like that. So I have to train them. I have a 5-month-old daughter. I have an 11 going on 12 in August, a year-old son. I'm married. Like I have the household stuff that I have to do, and then try to do this. And I have a publishing company where we do kids books. And then, like I said, the content on this, which this is a hobby that I've been able to monetize, which is why now you see like, oh, he's doing a review of a mouse and a keyboard and this and that and that. How does he have money for that? It's just, I'm taking all the money that I have here and I'm just rolling it back into the channel. And the hope being too, that we did the giveaway. I want to be able to do more of those too, which that was a learning experience. So hopefully here pretty soon I can do another one. Is 24 hours enough for you? No, it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes it's like 6 hours of sleep and then go back to it. But I enjoy every minute of it. So do you think Below Zero will be able to learn more about the extinct creatures? Hopefully some of that backlog. I think Jill's going to do a good job with that. So we'll see. All right, Admiral Tuck, you got to go. Have a good day, man. But for the publishing company stuff, I don't have anything here just offhand. I need to, I've actually done a video on here talking about the process of working with Ex Libris, which was the original publishing company we went with, and it was just a horrible experience. We actually published through KDP. Sorry. Yes, KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, with Amazon. And so we have 6 books. We're working on a 7th. Me and my best friend are writing partners. So, and then I have a local artist. He's the one that did the art for the channel. He's actually working on a image right now, which that's something I want to talk about. So I mentioned, hey, and I actually reached out to, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correct, Danya, the community manager for Subnautica. And I said, hey, if we did some art, I don't want to make any money on it. The intent isn't to do that. It would just be to do a giveaway for people that watch the channel. I'm going to have my local artist do it. We do kids' books. Could we do that? And she said, yeah, that's fine. Big thing being, obviously, we're not going to profit from this. We don't want that. So I'm going to pay the artist, and then he's going to get the work done. And so we landed on 3 images. I haven't shared anything yet. We do have the first one that he's working on, and I'm going to do it in stages. So we'll have the first one, and then after that, it'll be a couple months. We'll do the second, and then hopefully we tie one in for launch. That's the big thing we want to do. And he's a phenomenal artist, and actually, hopefully we can see the shirt. So this is from the remake of the first book. So for this one, he actually did like pencil to paper, and then went in, did watercolor, and then went in and did digital art over it. And so he's doing this, and the way I'm going to have it set up, excuse me, the way I'm going to have it set up is we're doing like a speed drawing. I told him, hey, if we do this, I want content around what you're doing so everybody can see you actually making these. So when you do that, he's going to actually film it, and then we'll put it on here. It'll be on his channel. I'll have everybody to go just subscribe and watch his channel, watch the video of it, and then just say that you want it. We'll do a drawing, and I'm going to, for those that I can, it just depends on, this is a logistic I need to work out. We'll print like 10. We'll get signed copies. We'll send them to you guys. And then everybody else, it's a free digital download that we'll have, and you get to use it for whatever, right? So we'll have 3 of them though. That's the hope. Yeah, so luckily I talked to my wife about, like, for today, I was like, hey, I want to do this thing, like, and I try to communicate with her what's our time constraints on the weekend, because I train on Sundays. I work 6 days a week, right? Keep in mind, because I'm a personal trainer, my schedule's all over the place. I have in certain instances like a 4-hour gap. I come home and do this, and that's how I get it done. But then when it's family time, it's family time, and I try to work really hard to make sure that that's a priority. How did I find Subnautica? That's a good question. My son was watching Corey Kinchin, and he was playing it, and I don't know why, it drew me in, the look of it, and I hopped in myself, and then like was immediately hooked. And I played it for a couple weeks, and we went on vacation, and I was like thinking about the game the whole time, and then came back and hopped right back in. QA library, being a librarian, they can be a great help with knowing publishers and who to talk to, etc. Are you talking about KDP with that, by the way? I wonder if you'll still see the prawn suit when reversing with the sea truck with the prawn suit docked. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that in a while. I know that they still have that bug where you back up and like there's no water volume. I don't know if that's been fixed, but they've been fixing a ton of bugs right now. Which games will you choose to make new series in the future? I want to do Natural Selection. I actually want to hop in and check that game out. I know that's one of them. Kind of sticking with Unknown Worlds with certain things. So if they do this tabletop down one, I'd love to do that. If they do early access, that would be really, really cool. Moving into Satisfactory, I've just been having a ton of fun with that. When Halo Infinite comes out, I'll be doing a series on that. Cyberpunk as well. I know that shifts from like the style of Subnautica over to that, but definitely do that. The harder thing that I notice with creating content on a channel is like Satisfactory is a good example. I look at Satisfactory and there's already somebody that's in that area. That's not to say that you can't build content. It's just harder because you're not going to garner the same amount of views just because YouTube isn't going to prioritize your videos yet. You got to spend a lot of time doing that. So that's another thing. Now, it's not all about the views. I don't think you need to look at it like that, but it just takes a while to build into a particular game. So I think somebody's from Poland there. I don't know how you'd say that. Lucas? Is it just Lucas or Lucas? Got some song Luke's there. Never gonna give you up. I actually am playing Stranded Deep. I've hopped in that. I did I think 3 videos on it, and then it boils back to being busy. So then I'll go back to what the core of the channel is, which is Subnautica Below Zero. And I'll do that for, I mean, I know with it launching, but perhaps in the next year, I'll do a video series on that. I'll do a playthrough series. Then it's what are the short videos that I can do to help. So I'll have a lot of content around that. And then it'll be a good chance to figure out some other games that I can hop into. But yeah, Stranded Deep is fun, by the way. We watched all of Stranger Things. I actually just rewatched it with my son. He was finally old enough to. And so this goes back to, I have a client texting me at the moment. All right, they need more info than I can provide right now. No, it's not going to release sometime before September. I don't think so at this point. I've been hoping for September. I'm thinking it's going to link later now. If we're talking next gen console stuff is releasing the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 late next year, I think we're going to see something there. It makes more sense to try to tie it into the release of those. You can do everything simultaneously. Maybe not. I don't know what I'm not a developer. I don't know what the structure is from going from a PlayStation 4 to a PlayStation 5 in that regard. Keen, got to go. Thanks for watching, man. I appreciate it. Somebody from the Netherlands. That's awesome. The hope is that these would release simultaneously. So right now their hope is, now they've also said that if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But the hope is that they can actually release on PC and consoles at the same time. We'll see. I think Stranded Deep is still in early access, by the way. Yeah, they did just launch on, I don't know if it was consoles in general or just the PlayStation 4, but I did say that they released on consoles a couple months ago. Man, it's already been 36 minutes. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Any last minute questions before I have to head out here? I will be doing, hopefully, fingers crossed, if not tonight, then tomorrow, I'm going to do a playthrough. I want to, the new update in Below Zero, I've done them where they're only an hour. I want to spend at least a good chunk with that. And I don't know if I'm going to use console commands on it or not. Sometimes it's just a straight playthrough. We just see the story unfold. But with that also means that I'm spending 20 minutes trying to find all the resources that I need to find, which is the fun part as a player, but maybe not so much as a viewer to do. So they've explained how she's still alive via PDAs. I did cover that in a video. but that's going to be that story spoiler if you don't want that. But they do explain it. I will say that. Shout out to Obraxis. Keep making awesome videos and holding us to account. Stay safe. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for even watching my videos. I've always been so stoked that some of the developers see any of this stuff. And I think it was Liam Tart was saying that he watched it. He commented and he was like, yeah, he'd send them around to some of the developers just on the team. That's pretty cool. I didn't think that would ever happen. That wasn't my expectation, but the fact that they're looking at them is awesome. Matter of fact, when they announced they were looking for playtesters, I was late to that. I didn't get in, but I was actually late to that. But I get to do it in another sense, which is kind of cool if they see it and they see anything going on. So, can we have background music in the gameplays though? I don't think so with the copyright stuff. That becomes an issue. Now, when I'm playing like a regular playthrough, whatever music's in the game is going to play, which Ben has done phenomenal on this, by the way. I love the music in Below Zero. So it should be in there with that, though. Do I ever think that I will do YouTube full time? I love what I do as a trainer too much to ever completely let go of it. I'm certified in dynamic neuromuscular stabilization, which is developmental kinesiology. I'm a medical exercise specialist. I'm certified in functional range conditioning, which is a mobility modality. Something called GRIP approach, which is global rehabilitation injury prevention. I'm certified with Onnit Academy Foundations. GRIP approach was 3 different levels to it, by the way. We were the first team to get fully certified. I'm certified in MoveNat, level 1, MoveNat Combatives. There's a bunch that I'm skipping. And then workshops, I've done restorative exercise. I've done like 8 of their workshops before she ended up shutting down the school for that. But I've gotten to train with the lady that created it a couple times, which is really, really cool. And then my degree is in nutrition. I have all this knowledge and I just thoroughly enjoy it. So maybe I would scale it back because right now it's like 60-40. 60% of the time I'm doing my training stuff, 40% of the time I'm doing this. Maybe that ends up flipping. And this makes enough money that I don't really have to take clients necessarily. I can say, hey, I'm done, which I'm at that capacity that I can handle at the moment, but it may get to the point where I'm like, I'm not taking on anybody more. Matter of fact, I'm going to scale back. I have thought about that, meaning my price goes up. So my hour that they pay for becomes more and more valuable based off of what I know. So I have thought about that. The notion of completely quitting, I dislike it too much. I don't think I would with that. All right, one more. Yeah, one COVID question, and I guess is just a comment. And I take that very seriously because I have a 5-month-old. So everybody washes their hands when they get to the studio. All the equipment gets washed down after they're done. Most people wash their hands before they leave. All the door handles get washed. All the bathroom stuff gets washed. I'm not in anybody's face. It's only one-on-one, meaning you can't bring a big crowd of people with you. If it was a gym, I wouldn't be open. I wouldn't be going. But it's my own studio, so I get to control the environment completely. If you feel sick, slightly sick, everybody stays home. I'm getting to the point I might start testing temperatures. I don't know yet. So, but I've been very, very proactive with it. So, all right, I'm going to end this live stream right here. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to Obraxis for watching it all. I appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know, later tonight or tomorrow. It depends on how the day goes. I want to give you guys the definitive answer, but I really can't just based off my schedule. But I will be doing a playthrough with this latest update and just trying to do that. And matter of fact, and Mafia Boss, there he is. All right, I'm actually supposed to link up with him later too. But if it's one of those things where there's enough in the story to do maybe 2 or 3 live streams and not just one like I've done in the past. Maybe we go that route. Because I'd like to actually work through the story a little bit more. And it's still very bare bones. I think there's so much that they're going to add to this. So like I said, don't necessarily judge it on what they have at the moment. I think there's going to be a lot more. If you saw the diagram, I did a video on it that Jill did for what they're doing with the story. There's a lot of content that they're going to put in with this. So that is going to be it, Mafia. I'll see you at 4 my time a little bit later. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching this. Check back soon. Like I said, I should have a video live stream later today or tomorrow. And then I'm going to start doing those smaller chunks where we can start to really focus in on some things going on with the game. Thank you guys so much for watching.